Hey, One Piece trailer looks...
Yeah, while we're on something topical.
Oh, yeah.
While we're on something topical.
As a One Piece expert.
I mean,
it's
Hold up, back up. Back up for a second.
Well, to be fair, everything you probably have read right now is probably going to be
Well, no,
in...
100%.
Yeah, it's only going to go up like
I'm like
the
over
grand line.
halfway.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you, in case you missed it, Netflix right now is making a live-action One Piece series. It's coming out at the end of August, and people are very divided about it.
Okay.
I wouldn't say people are actually divided. I think there's a consensus.
Yeah.
The consensus is, wow, I thought it was going to suck.
Yeah.
Doesn't suck as much as I thought it would.
I'm going to say something brave.
Okay.
All right.
I think it's going to be kind of sucky. I think it's going to be...
Why is that brave? What?
There's nothing.
kind of brave.
What is brave? What is...
The consensus is that it's probably going to be decent.
No, the consensus is it looks decent, but I'm holding my breath.
Yeah, the consensus was everyone thought it was going to suck, and then they're like, "Oh, maybe I'll give this a chance." Actually.
Yeah, everyone was expecting it to be like Dragon Ball evolutions of that.
Yeah.
Right? But so far with this teaser trailer, I personally am like, I have positive skepticism over it, where it's like, I am almost looking forward to this. Like, I'm going to watch it, and if it ends up sucking, it ends up sucking. Whatever, we can laugh about it collectively afterwards.
Yeah.
But like, I'm kind of feeling after this trailer, my consensus on it is very similar to my consensus after I first saw the Cowboy Bebop trailer, which was, it was an awesome trailer, got me really excited about it, and then in the end, it turned out to be not as great as everyone was expecting it to be. So I feel that it might end up being that way.
Yeah, because the thing about Cowboy Bebop is that it had a fucking awesome trailer. The trailer actually, like, I remember watching it. I remember watching it, and I was like, "This is it. This is going to be the one that fixes everything that has come before it."
It's like Watanabe Shichiro's involved. They brought back Yoko Kanno. Like, the stars had aligned, and then a giant comet came and destroyed all the stars. You know?
I mean, I feel like you can get a lot of the people who are involved in the original involved, but it's still kind of tough to translate it from animation to live action. And even with this one, everyone was like, yeah, man, Oda's involved. And it's like, yeah, but Oda's a manga artist.
Yeah.
Like, sure, it's his vision of the characters and the story, but he's not a filmmaker.
No, exactly.
He's not a TV producer. It's a lot harder to translate those skills than I think people realize.
No, absolutely.
And a lot of the dialogue that might work in anime and manga will seem fucking goofy as shit.
Well, that's why a lot of live actions have just had this reputation of being, you know, piles of dog shit, because they think that there is an exact correlation between how anime characters talk and how real actors talk, which is, unless your anime series is super grounded in terms of like dialogue, like, you know, if we had something like Monster, for example, right, by Urasawa Naoki, or like, you know, 20th Century Boys, right, by Urasawa Naoki, which ended up being a pretty decent live action, only because the dialogue is so grounded in reality in the manga. Whereas One Piece is like the most shonen you can get in terms of like how characters act and how they talk.
Really hope it's not like some, you know, because every fucking Marvel movie now has to have quips and funny lines that aren't funny.
I mean, this is going to be quippy.
I know, but
I
I just hope that it doesn't feel like a cheap version of that, because even to me, that the quippy and one-liners in Marvel feel like fucking stupid and not funny.
Well, the one-liners, a lot of the one-liners in Cowboy Bebop were like that as well, which kind of brought it down for a lot of people, where it's like,
the live action, sorry, or the
live action, yeah.
I brought it down. It was already in the fucking gutter.
I mean,
what was that one line? Is this blackmail? And what was he? I think Jet goes, "Are you blackmailing me?" And the woman goes, "Well, Jet, you are black and you are male," or something, or something like that. Which is like
writing 101.
Which is like
which out of context is fucking hilarious.
Which is like someone really put this down on paper and thought, "This is it."
That got
this
through
is the
like
line.
everyone.
Yeah, it's like, that's hilarious. Put it in. It's like the most surface level shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I also said as well, I was thinking about it when I was talking to some other people. I was like, you know, I think the first arc is the arc that'll probably be like the easiest to film, and then that's because like One Piece later on, Oda's character design just get fucking weird.
Yeah.
He's like, how about I just make somebody 9 times the size of a human, and their body is just like literally like a fucking what's the thing on Photoshop where you just make someone like deep fried or warped,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like he just starts fucking up with people's proportions, and their heads are 10 times the size. It's like this is gonna need like ungodly amounts of CGI.
Yeah, like
And so now I'm like, all right, this is the first arc where you can gauge if this is gonna do well, and this is just a crush.
like
so they
even
have a fuck
even
ton of money.
yeah, even with like human characters, right? Or like characters that look
what's the
human.
name of that first woman who turns up and she's like fucking massive and supposed to be like super ugly, and then she becomes really attractive later on.
Oh,
What's her name? She starts off and she looks like a brick shithouse woman.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
the fuck are you gonna? How the hell is that gonna work?
Well, I mean, like even look at like Doflamingo. He's like a normal looking dude visually, but Oda was like, "What if I made him 11 feet tall, though?"
Yeah, and then like,
it's like, did you have to do that?
like, how do you make Chopper not look like some kind of first version Sonic the Hedgehog?
Well,
weird ass?
see, that's the thing. Like, so
He's not in it though.
yeah, when
Yeah,
I made
he's not in it.
So when I made my video, I touched upon that being like, I think it was a good choice for them to cut it right before where Chopper comes into the story, because I can not imagine this like horrendous CGI Chopper just like fucking running around with like all these other people being like, all right, you know what? At least you were smart enough to be like, let's just stick to like human characters first, and then we can deal with the non-human characters that come later on.
Yeah,
you know?
well, even with like the human characters, there are some fucking weird human characters, and I think like even just Buggy the Clown, which on like the grand One Piece scale of things is on like the less weirder side of things, but on like the normal anime scale of things, he's still fucking weird.
He's still weird as fuck.
He's still weird and cartoonish as a character.
They're gonna do like the eyes popping out stuff. I don't know. I just think it's everything.
I'm interested to see how they're gonna show his devil fruit power.
I that mean, one shot we got of like the gum pistol, I was like, oh, this
looks so bad.
This looks jank as hell, man.
I think it's like when you think about like Mr. Fantastic, right, from Fantastic Four, where he stretches. I was thinking, I'm like, I guess the suit does a lot of heavy lifting with that, because you can visualize the suit stretching, and it doesn't feel that weird. But when you see Luffy's skin stretch, like some kind of budget Armstrong toy, you're like, it just looks fucking weird.
Yeah. Also, I saw like this interesting comment about that, which was like in that trailer when his arm is stretching, the scene is quite dark, which hides a lot of blemishes in CGI. So it was like, I'm already very skeptical on the CGI purely. I mean, the fucking giant fish in the trailer, I was
everyone liked the look of that, and I'm just like, this does look terrifying, I'll give you that, but it's that uncanny kind of like effect where it doesn't look like a cartoon, but it also doesn't look like it should exist in reality.
It looks like PS4 graphics. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's realistic, but not realistic.
I don't know if this is just me, but like, they just look like they were like cosplaying like a D&D thing. A lot of the to me, I know that's such a nitpick, but to me, I'm like, man, I don't know.
No. I said exactly the same thing. They all look, except for Usopp. For some reason, Usopp
looks. I like Usopp.
Usopp looks legit because he actually looks and feels like a real person. Everyone else looks like a cosplayer, and I think part of that reason is just because whatever clothing, they were obviously very faithful to the original character designs, but I feel like that's actually an issue, because the clothes that work in like anime don't always translate well into like live action. And what I got from watching their kind of like character designs is that their clothes don't look like their clothes don't feel worn. They all feel very, very clean, and like, okay, let's think about this a little bit deeper, right? Let's pretend that these are real people for a second. You have to wear these clothes every day, or so. They would be like at least like a little bit beaten up, a little bit worn. Maybe you'd learn how to like style it a bit more. But no, these look like very clean and pristine. How they look in the manga, how they look in the anime.
They're the cleanest pirates on the sea.
Yeah. And I'm like, this works for an anime and a manga, because okay, they're wearing the same clothes every day and it's like an art style, but as soon as you bring this to reality, it's just the subtle things that give that you visually look and your brain just goes, something about this stands out, something.
In the same vein though, I think Netflix made a conscious choice to not go full on with exactly replicating certain character styles.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good thing. Like, for example, like Sanji in this live action doesn't have the curly eyebrow.
Yeah.
Usopp doesn't have the giant
Are they going to
nose.
give him a lollipop though? That's the big thing.
If it's a cigarette, then I'll be like, my man. But like, I think like them not adding in, say, like Sanji's curly eyebrow, Usopp's long nose, I think was a good idea, because
Yeah.
if they had added
too
that
dumb.
in, it would have just looked incredibly tacky.
Yeah.
And it would have actually just looked like cosplay.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I think they made some conscious choices to be like, let's not include this, let's include this. And I think in general, it looks a hell of a lot better than a lot of other live action out there. And I think like, especially with a lot of like Japanese production live action, they try to be so faithful to how the character looks that, again, you just look at it and being like, that's not a character. That's a dude who just came back from Comic-Con. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's why, right? Like, for example, like the Full Metal Alchemist live action was so shit because
Yeah.
Ed just looked like a cosplayer. He didn't
Yeah.
feel like,
I mean,
a real person.
Out of everyone on the Straw Hat crew, my least favorites, let's say,
Visually.
take visually, is probably Nami, which, if you think about it, should be like the easiest one out of the Straw Hat crews. But like her hair was so bright, and it doesn't. it just, you know, it kind of just felt like it kind of just looked like either she dyed it that day or she put on a wig. Like I said, it's orange isn't like exactly an unnatural hair color,
And isn't
in
that,
the real world.
Isn't that actress also naturally a redhead?
I have no idea.
I think I saw pictures of that being like, why would they give her a wig when she's just naturally a redhead?
Yeah,
and I was just like, okay, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure myself, but like out of everyone, she has the simplest character design, and I'm like, you look like a cosplayer. Where you don't, like Nami as a character does not need to look like a cosplayer at all. It's so easy to transfer her character over. But I mean, that's just one shot, you know. Whether that's all we were given.
Well, I'm hoping. I'm expecting it to be bad, and if it's good, I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. Like, I'm definitely going to be watching it just because I'm curious to see, like, if this will be the one that, I guess, breaks the streak. So, you know, but I'm not expecting. I'm not holding my breath.
If I'm hoping for a direction, I'm hoping they go fucking. It's hard to make One Piece work in live action, but they need to go like full Kung Fu Hustle, the original like Jim Carrey's The Mask, to be like, okay, this is goofy, but we're like embracing the goofiness, and we're kind of like self-aware about it.
Don't try to like ground it too much in reality.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't wait to see Whitebeard's cock.
The One Piece. There's just a scene where they just look up and it's just like the shadow. The shadow of his cock. The shadow of his cock.
It's real. Well, you know, I also saw as well being like, you know what, guys? We had the Bleach live action. We're getting a One Piece live action. So now the big three, baby, the last one, Naruto live action is just around the corner. And I'm like, if there's one show that is not going to work in live action, it's that one.
I mean, I think Naruto would be easier to adapt than One Piece. In my mind, One Piece is like, if they can do One Piece, they can do anything right. You know,
true.
to me, there is nothing more cartoonish than One Piece.
Yeah.
But you know.